Hello. Welcome again, everyone. My name is Robbie Thomas. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to get started with our DVR webinar over LG DVRs and our Black DVRs. Due to the fact that we have so many people attending this webinar, I'm going to put everyone on mute. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please select the raise hand button. I'll see that. I can pause my presentation, unmute you so you can ask the question. I'll answer it to the best of my ability, and then we'll move on with the presentation. I'd actually like to ask everyone to hold their questions till the end. We have about a 25 to 35-minute presentation, and then we're going to do some Q&A, and we'd actually like to answer all the questions at the end of that. The goal of my training is to educate everyone today on how LG and Black DVRs work, as well as the features that set them apart in the market. We're going to show you both lines, and we're also going to show you how our free DNS service works for both of our DVRs. We're then going to explain how you're going to sell each of those and when's probably the best time to offer them in the marketplace. Every month we're hosting 1 to 2 webinars. We generally try to alternate between a non-sales education only webinar and then follow it up with a gear webinar. If you've been attending my webinars so far, we actually started with a networking 101 to kind of get people in the mindset of what is IP and how does it work in the real world. And then we followed that up with our dealer webinar on how to grow your business and how Supercircuits will help you grow your business. This webinar is going to be more gear related on our 2 main brands, which is LG and Black. And our next webinar is coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be wrapped around DigiOp 8.5 and all the new feature sets that we're about to release on DigiOp 8.5. So right now I'm going to turn this over to Norman Ragland. He's our product manager. He actually oversees the development of Black and when we brought on LG. I'm going to turn it over to him. He's going to go through the presentation, and then we'll have our Q&A at the end. Hold on one second.
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to cover the Black DVRs. We have a DH2 series as well as the BLK-HD series. The next one we'll also cover is the LG DVRs. It's a LE4000 as well as a 5000. Today's agenda will cover some of the benefits as well as features. We'll also cover some of the Okay, sorry about that. We'll also cover some of the network configuration as well as the DDNS servers, as well as web client and smartphone app. The BLK DH2 series will have a 4, 8, and 16 channel. These will offer H.264 compression. They'll have various recording resolution, D1, half D1, as well as CIF. Real-time recording, 2-way audio. The other neat feature we also have on this one is a smart feature. It actually monitors the hard drive, as well as DVD and USB offload. The key point on this one as well is it also has the HDMI output. This is pretty new to the market. There's not too many DVRs out there with HDMI output. This DVR, as well as our other Black DVRs, do have this feature. Some of the benefits of the DH2 DVRs is easy-to-use GUI interface, as well as real-time recording and display. We will offer browser support, single client, as well as multi-client, as well as a free DDNS site hosting. The next series is the BLK-HD series. We offer a 4, 8, and 10, as well as a 16-channel DVR. The 10 channel is a hybrid version. This will allow you to do up to 10 channels, 8-channel analog, 2-channel HD. Key advantage to this DVR, just very similar to the DH2, is the GUI interface is very similar. The main advantage, again, to this one is going to be the 720p live or 1080p recording display. Compared to like the DH2, the GUI interface, browser support, remote site configuration, as well as smartphone app are all very similar. The main benefit to HD is going to be the 720, 1080p live or recording. Here's an example of the main monitor display. As you can see, it's a pretty user-friendly interface. Down at the bottom, you have your configuration options to start recording, get into the menu, PTZ control. Anytime you can right-click onto the actual screen to get into a quick setup option. Here's an example of our setup menu. You have 8 tabs: display, record settings, device, storage options, as well as your system. You have your security settings, which will allow you to configure username and passwords, your network configuration, and then you have a configuration option at the end. The configuration option at the end will allow you to import or export settings, as well as your firmware upgrade. Under the setup menu controls, you have a few options to open up a submenu or a drop-down list. Pretty much everything is controlled through the USB mouse that's included with the DVR. You're able to drag and adjust your settings all the way to your scheduled recording as well. Here's an example screenshot of our network settings. They're pretty standard with, compared to normal DVRs. You have your network type, your ports, IP address. If you look down there at the bottom, there's a DDNS. This is what we're going to cover next, is how to turn that on and how to set it up. With the DH2 as well as the HD DVRs, it's pretty simple to set up this DVR for DNS service. First step, you'd want to turn on the DDNS, that was on the previous page. You're going to select your DDNS site. In this one, we're going to use the DDNScenter.com. You have a DDNS interval time. What this will do is actually will scan to make sure it updates your IP address. If you had depending on your network provider, your IP address can change pretty frequently. Sometimes 10 times a day, maybe 1 time every 6 months. Once you do that, you're going to go to DDNScenter.com. You're going to enter the MAC address of the DVR. The MAC address is located inside the system menu, or actually on the sticker that's located on the front as well as the back of the DVR. The serial number is also located in the same spot. So once you enter in your MAC address, your serial number, you're going to create a domain name. And this could be anything from Tom's DVR to Mr. Customer Store. Once you do that, there's a duplication check to make sure that there is not an identical name already in the system. Once it checks, it confirms that you're good to go. Click register, and you registered your DNS site. Once you're done registering it, you just enter in the DNS Center site that you created. This one we use demo. So it'd be demo.ddnscenter.com. Once you enter that, you're going to enter in your username and just basically log in. What you see there is an example screenshot of what the DH2 or the HD DVR's browser support looks like. Next, we'll cover our BLACKHAWK DVR app. This is available on Android as well as Apple iOS devices. You're able to do live or playback monitoring. You can also hear live audio. With this particular app, you also have a screenshot viewer, which will allow you to capture the screen that you're viewing. This is able to do on live or playback. You have a single as well as quad view, and then a PTZ control. So between any Android, Apple, iPad device, you'll be able to control your DVR from any remote location. Next, we'll cover the LG DVRs. We have two series. It's going to be an LE4000 and an LE5000 series. In both these models, we'll have an 8-channel as well as a 16-channel. The main difference between these two DVRs is the 4000 series is going to be a CIF resolution DVR, and the 5000 series is going to be D1. Other than that, the DVRs operate the same, have the same user interface, and it's very easy to use. The LG DVRs compared to like the DH2 will also have ATM or POS linkage. This will allow you to overlay any cash register or ATM device over the video. The other key part about this DVR is it does offer 2-channel IP support. This will support any Axis or LG IP camera. Benefits of hybrid DVR. The main benefit is you're able to use existing analog cameras. If your customer already has a camera system up, but they want to add maybe megapixel resolution, this would be a perfect DVR for that. This allows them to migrate to IP as their budget allows. Adding megapixel quality to your security system is another benefit to hybrid. Hybrid DVRs also have a minimal setup time, configuration time. It's very easy to set up. You're basically in and out once you're done setting it up. And overall, it has a lower initial cost and maintenance cost compared to a full IP solution. Training is also less. You'll take up less time in training compared to that to a pure IP solution. Here's an example of the LG main monitor display. Similar to what we're looking at on the DH2, at the very bottom they have your control options. Here's an example of the DVR menu layout. There's 3 levels to this DVR. You have your first level, which will allow you to do your system, control your devices, display, your record settings, event, as well as user. Second, we'll break off into your other options as far as networking and so on. The third level is where you would actually make your adjustments to your settings. Here's an example of the network configuration. You're able to turn your DHCP on or off, enter in your IP address. This is where you would actually enter in the local IP address of the DVR. Make sure you match up your subnet, gateway, primary, as well as your secondary DNS. Pretty standard as far as compared to other DVRs when you're setting up your network configuration. Under network, we'll cover DDNS on the LG DVR. With this particular DVR, it's a little bit different than the DH2. You'll turn on your DDNS service. You enter your host name in the DVR. You'll click Update. Once you click Update, it actually registers the host name for you. So instead of going to a website to register your DVR, the DVR actually will do the entire registration for you. Once you're done updating and you get your register host ID, you'll enter that ID into your browser or into your client software, and then you'll have access to your DVR from there. When adding an IP camera, it's pretty simple on this DVR. You select your IP channel. You're going to choose your vendor. It's either going to be LG or Axis at this time. Enter in the model number. You're going to enter the host name, which will be the IP address of the camera. Username and password. Confirm your ports, and then click the test button to verify you have connection. If you did successfully configure the IP camera correctly, then you'll get a confirmation that test is confirmed. Here's an example of the web browser interface for LG. Very clean interface, easy to understand. You have your few tabs on the left-hand side and some options at the very top. You have your playback options at the bottom. It's going to be very similar to the client software we're going to cover next, You're limited on the web browser interface as far as changing system controls through your DVR, but we'll cover that next under the client software. Here's an example screenshot of the network client. It's very similar to what we were just looking at on the web browser portion, but most of your tabs are going to be highlighted and give you options to control those settings. With the network client, you'll be able to do everything from control PTZs, time and date search, as well as change any settings on the DVR as if you're in front of the DVR. Down here at the bottom, you have your drag and drop time search, information display, and then here's an example screenshot of network client search tab. Pretty easy to understand. You have an event search date. This will pull up a calendar. Your calendar dates will be highlighted in blue to show you that you actually have recording on those dates. Select your channels, enter your time, and select your event type, whether it's motion, sensor, or continuous recording. Compared to the browser support or browser client, the network client will allow you to do a remote setup to the DVR. So as I stated earlier, you'll be able to control any settings on the DVR remotely through the client software. Whether you want to change title, time and date, or even turn on or off certain cameras, you're able to do that remotely. LG also has a smartphone app available for Android and Apple devices. This will also have a device list management, live video monitoring, live audio, search and playback controls for DVR only, and PTZ control. Next, we'll go over the Q&A session. You'll select the hand button, and I'll see that you ask any question, and we'll go from there. Gabriel Castillo, go ahead and ask your question. Go ahead, Gabriel. I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that? Okay, Gabriel, we'll have to come back to you. For some reason, we're not able to hear your audio come through. Does anybody else have any questions?